Finance Minister to Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani says that a GDP measured in US dollars is neither relevant nor appropriate for the Malaysian economy. He was responding to comments made by Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers President Tan Sri Lim Wee Chai that Malaysia's GDP did not grow if measured in USD. Ghani said that economic activity in Malaysia is measured primarily through activities transacted by households, businesses and governments in ringgit, explaining that GDP measured in USD is not relevant for a mature and sophisticated economy like Malaysia, nor is the GDP measured in USD appropriate for an economy that is not dollarized in any sense. Yesterday, Lim had made the argument that GDP should be calculated in USD because it does business in the world market. Using that metric would have resulted in a contraction in GDP due to the ringgit devaluation. To which Johari says that such a statement could cause confusion and is not only misleading but reflects poor understanding of how the economy actually works. PM Datuk Seri Najib will be meeting US President Donald Trump come this September 12th at the White House in Washington, D.C. Officials from both countries have confirmed. The Foreign Affairs Ministry said that Najib would undertake the visit following an invitation from Trump in conjunction with the 60th anniversary of Malaysia-US bilateral ties. In a statement, the ministry said that the two leaders are expected to discuss areas of mutual beneficial cooperation, which include national security, the global fight against terrorism and extremism, and trade and investment. While a White House statement said that Trump looks forward to discussing ways to strengthen and broaden our bilateral relationship and expand regional cooperation with one of America's closest partners in Southeast Asia. This visit takes place against the backdrop of the US Department of Justice's criminal probe of troubled state fund 1MDB, which is also facing money laundering probes in at least 6 other countries. It was a stellar quarter for AirAsia X Berhad as net profits surged and revenue crossed the 1 billion mark for the first time in the company's second quarter history. Net profit came in at 47.4 million compared with just over $1 million the year before, while revenue grew by 17.3% to just over $1 billion from 883.2 million in the previous year as the low-cost long-haul airline carried 34% more passengers. During the period under review, AX had recorded lower base fares at 455 ringgit in order to stimulate demand, which resulted in higher load factor of 80% despite a 26% capacity injection. AX CEO Benyamin Ismail said that the company delivered a commendable performance in a historically lean quarter. He explains that its forward bookings are ahead of last year, showing that demand to fly remains strong and that consumers prioritize holidays over other non-essential spends. Group CEO Datuk Kamaruddin Maranun said that for the rest of 2017, AX plans to re-strategize its position in Australia while focusing on opportunities from North Asia, adding that AX is also planning to streamline operations and that cost reduction initiatives would help the company achieve up to 10% in cost savings. It was earnings day for the Hong Leong Group of companies. Starting with Hong Leong Financial Group Berhad, we saw a 34% drop in fourth quarter net profit as earnings at 65.67% owned Hong Leong Bank Berhad fell. HLFG's net profit for the quarter came in at 258.8 million compared with 393.5 million last year. But in contrast, top line rose 6.4% to 1.3 billion ringgit for the quarter. On a full year basis, HLFG did better overall with net profit improving by 10.8% to 1.5 billion ringgit. Meanwhile, it was a similar story at Hong Leong Bank. We saw its net profit for the quarter fall by 13.5% to 482.9 million, even as revenue grew by 6.5% to 1.2 billion ringgit. However, numbers were better at HLFG's 81.33% owned Hong Leong Capital Berhad, with net profit improving 45.6% to 9.9 million from 6.8 million, and top line growing by 15.8% to 79 million even. In terms of dividends, Hong Leong Bank announced a payout of 30 cents per share, while HLC announced a 19-cent dividend for the quarter. AMMB Holdings Berhad saw a slight 1.6% improvement to first quarter earnings due to higher net interest income. First quarter net profit for FY 2018 came in at 328.3 million compared with 323 million last year, while similarly revenue grew by 1% to 2.08 billion from 2.06 billion the year before. AmBank Chief Datuk Sulaiman Muhammad Tahir said that the encouraging top-line growth had been driven by business banking, transaction banking, global markets and mortgages. In the coming months, Sulaiman said that AMMB would continue to focus on its strategic priorities, penetrating targeted segments and expanding its strengths, adding that it would remain focused on running the bank better and bring optimal returns to its shareholders.